Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, find the measure of angle B. So what I want to do for these problems, these two here, these warm-ups, I want to say the angle pair relationship. So I want to say the vocab word, and then I want to calculate what the angle is. You're either lucky or unlucky because Evan's not here. And he's listening to this. Hi. And he knows all the vocab words for these. Does anybody else know the vocab words for these? Okay. This one is corresponding. Okay, that's great. And do you know what corresponding angles have in common? Do you know their relationship to each other? Yes. Corresponding angles are equal. So that means that if this is 58, then this also has to be 58. I want you to imagine that I took a piece of tracing paper and I traced the angle 58 and then I slid it up, and that one would also be 58. I want you to think about it like a slide. Okay, now the next one, I heard it was supplementary. And what do you guys know about supplementary? Yes. Perfect. So add to 180. Okay. On these, I want you to think about there being a circle all the way around the point in the middle, and all circles are 360. And so this is half of a circle, which is 180. To find B, what we're going to do is 180 minus 39, which is 141. Are we agreeing with my 141? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Oh, I forgot the B equals. Any questions about the two warm-ups that you want to talk about? So we'll do the other ones on different days. But just these two for today. Okay, now I need you to find a page in your packet. We're going to be working with the front and back page today. And the page we're working with is the front and back of this one. So find the one that says lesson 1.2.3 resource page at the top. Problem 1-54. I don't know, but this is not going to be a lot of writing. Yeah, maybe it is. If there is one, do you see the little shelves over there? Look in the middle shelves. The middle shelves are always this class. Okay, we're not doing this part immediately, so just set your packet aside. And then set this up in your notebooks, please. People in the back, how is the size of the font here? Do you want me to scooch it in? Yes? Okay. I'll scooch it in and then I'll scooch it down in a little bit. Is that better? Okay. Oh, and also I'm missing something. There's supposed to be a question mark right there. I just wanted to give you the board better. I gave you a thumbs up, honey. Thumbs up. If you guys finish setting up your notebook for this, go ahead and graph those coordinates. Everybody in here should be familiar with graphing coordinates, I hope. Do you guys remember on number 37 on the research page there was a graph and we found the coordinates and what the input was, what the output was? And we did it again yesterday on the function notation practice. This is going to be exactly that thing again. So we're practicing this for another time. So let's graph these. So 1, -3. So you start at the origin and go right 1, down 3. Right 5, down 2, right 4, right 2, up 1. I just did the wrong thing. Gotta watch me sometimes, especially in the morning. Right 2, up 1. Oh, I guess I saw the next one. Right 1, up 2.
Yeah, don't do difficult things in the morning.
Think so?
Yeah, because you probably, because early in the morning, you're not fully awake yet.
That could explain some things. Okay. This is going to be a little bit challenging for us to draw. It looks weird, right? Okay, I want you guys to wait for me. so that you can see what it's supposed to look like. I'm gonna turn it though. Just wait a minute. Just hold on. Hold on. It's much easier to draw if you rotate your paper. Actually, let's continue this out a ways. These are not going to be perfect, and it's okay. Another teacher taught me a trick. If any of your curve doesn't go through any of your dots, just make your dots bigger. Okay. Estimate y when x is -4. So what I want you guys to do is go where x is -4, right there. And I want you to make a dot on the curve. So right here. So I went to where x was -4, and then I went to my curve and I made a dot. And we're going to estimate what y is. -1, -2, -3. What do you think? -3.8? What do you guys might have something different on your paper. I'm gonna say -3.8-ish. Do you think it was supposed to be -4, but my curve is just bad? Probably. Okay, now I'm gonna scooch this up. Can you guys write B, C, and D first, please? Do you already know the answer for D, maybe? Okay, here we go. For B, estimate y when x is -1. So come over here and put a little -1 on the x-axis, and then find a coordinate on the curve. What do you think? Yeah, -3.1, -3.2, something like that. Excellent job. I think that's beautiful. Okay, now this is where it's going to get interesting. Estimate y when x is 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. How many spots are there when x is 4? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so y is 0 for sure. And then negative 2.5 and positive 3.5 ish. You guys know what the squiggly equals means? Like, it means approximate. Okay. Are there any inputs in this graph that have multiple outputs? Yeah, we just did it in C. And what do we call it when it's a graph? Correct. What do we call the thing that we do? Vertical line test. So let's actually go to 4 and show the failed vertical line test. When you're ready, function machine time. Okay. How are we doing? Do we need another second? Okay, do you guys know how to do these? So I'm actually going to do little arrows to show where they go. I'm going to do this guy here. So f of negative 3 means I'm going to put a negative 3 in the x spot. So this will be 6 over negative 3 minus 3. This one will be 6 over 0 minus 3. And this one will be 6 over 2 minus 3. Are those okay? Does that make sense? Okay, I didn't finish them yet. So This is 6 over -6, which is -1. This is 6 over -3, which is -2. And this one is 6 over -1, which is -6. Any questions about the three function machine problem? Are you good? Are you sure? Now's the time to ask. Okay. Anybody see what's going to happen in B? You're the best. Okay. 6 over 0. Mike, what do you call it? Can't divide by 0 error?
Uh-oh, we have the divide by 0 error.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is where this lesson is going to get spicier. So if you've been ignoring me all period because it's easy so far, you're going to have to stop ignoring me now because this is where it's going to get new. All that previous stuff was probably old. You could probably have done it on your own. Maybe not the coordinate things. I mean, graphing the coordinates, but maybe not saying what anyway. Now it's getting new. So turn your math brakes on. You have to reach to the back for the switch. Kidding. Wouldn't it be great? You could just like download this stuff like the Matrix. Yeah. You just like sit in a chair and they're like, math 1, you're set. And you're like, I'm done. Just got my math 1 upgrade. Someday. Then what will Mr. Stalbot do for a job? Thinking I'd be really good at making Subway sandwiches. I'd probably get fired for putting too much meat on. The best part. Quickly. Okay, so as I mentioned, the end of the less easy lesson. That was the end of easy. Now it's going to get spicy. Okay, we know 3 won't work there. Is there anything else that won't work? Yes, sir. You're so smart. But let's call that 3. That is an amazing answer. That's the best answer. That's the pinnacle of my day right there. My day can only get worse from here. That was an amazing answer. Okay. Can we all agree that 3 is the only thing that's going to cause a problem here? If I put a decimal there, it'd be okay. You can divide by a decimal. No big deal. You can divide by, weird square roots. Not square root of 9. That's just genius. 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 No, but I wanted to put the comma here. No. Everything else works. Okay. Domain. This is a new vocabulary word for you. And domain is basically a description of everything that works for X. So in this case, the domain is all real numbers except 3. What I'm saying is, in this particular function, everything works except 3. 3 doesn't work. So the domain is all real numbers except 3. Now, I have to tell you that math people are lazy. We come up with a notation for everything to avoid having to write out the stuff, the words. It's just a problem with mathematicians. We're just really lazy people. So what we do is we say all real numbers. We make that into a fancy R with 2 stems. Why does it have 2 stems? Well, it's because it's supposed to be bolded like in a textbook, but back in the day when we drew on a whiteboard or a chalkboard, you can't bold something, so they made 2 stems to make it look bolded. Anyway, all real numbers, x cannot be 3. Okay, if you're not lazy, just write all real numbers except 3. I would totally accept that full credit, no problem. If you are lazy and like notation, you could write all real numbers except for x can't be 3 symbols. Don't care, not a big deal, but just throwing it out there. Okay, now can you guys find that resource page with the curve on it? And then also, I'm gonna bring you guys on a beat. I want you to get a colored pencil. Color on this a little bit. Just pick a colored pencil. Any colored pencil will do. You just need one. Did I skip a table? Okay. Grab a colored pencil. And find this resource page. Doesn't matter which color, just any one you like. Just one. I'm going to choose red so it shows up really well. What I want to do is show you how to find the domain on a graph. So we just talked about it from a function machine, but I want to be able to find it on a graph. I'm also going to teach you how to find the range. So we're going to write ourselves a little note up here. Domain is all x's. Range is all y's. These are 2 new vocabulary words for you. Domain is x's. Range is y's. And how do I remember this? Well, domain and range is D and R, which is alphabetic order, and then X and Y is alphabetic order. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Also, whenever I talk about this topic, I say domain and range, and X usually goes first anyway. So, okay. All right. What you're going to do is you're going to take your colored pencil, and when we talk about the domain, we're going to write on the X axis. I want you guys to go to the far left of this graph and make a dot because there's a dot on the left of this graph. And I want you to go to the far right on this graph and make a dot because there's a dot. Now remember, we're only drawing on the X axis right now. And then connect them. Because this curve right here exists in between these 2 dots. If you did it right, it should look kind of like Baymax. Okay. Does anybody know, this is an advanced question, how to write an inequality statement to represent this? Have you ever heard of a compound inequality? Okay. All right, this is how you do it. You put the left number first, and then leave some space and put the right number. So left number first, leave some space, put the right number. Okay, then you put X in the middle, but there should still be some space. It's not. What this is saying is X is between -2 and 4 and including that. So this is saying X is between -2 and 4, including -2 and 4. So if you look at it this way, X is greater than or equal to -2, and X is also less than or equal to 4. This is called a compound inequality. As I said, we're getting spicy today. Okay, now we're going to do this on the range. Find me the bottom. We're going to mark up the y-axis. So find me the bottom, put a dot there because there's a dot here. Find me the top, put a dot there. And then my curve exists. Okay, now let's do the same thing for the range. When you do the range, you start with the bottom number and you go to the top number and leave some space. This time we're working with y's on the y-axis. And we're saying y is between -1 and 3. Okay, flip this paper over. Number 55 is on the other side. Okay. First, I want you guys to take 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and write yes or no on each of these if they are a function. So first, you're deciding whether or not these are functions. Just write yes or no next to that. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got. Did you get no? Yes. 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 No. Yes. And how do we do on that? Are you sure? Okay. We're not showing the vertical line test on these. Okay. Domain and range. This is going to be a little bit challenging, guys, so focus in. Okay, so we're going from here to here on the domain. What spot is this right here? Beautiful. -3. And then this spot is +3. So I said the left and the right. I'm doing domain, so I have X. Done. Does anyone feel confident to tell me what two numbers the range is between?
-3 and 3.
Beautiful. -3 and 3. The only thing that changes on the range is what? Y. Okay, we're going to skip B for a moment. And we're going to go to C when you're ready. Okay. Skipping B for a moment. Going to C. Okay, so the left side is here. Right side is here. Okay, so domain. What number is the left side? Shh. -2. What number is the right side? 4. X in the middle. Okay, then for the range, do the bottom of the graph to the top of the graph. No, he's absent, sorry, because you would know that if I had submit on the thing. My bad. All my fault. Sorry. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, fine. Okay. Anybody want to venture what the range is? Anyone feel confident enough to tell me? Close to the same thing. Yes. Yes, -4 to 2 this time. Okay, we're going to skip D for a moment. And we're going to go to E. So on the X or the Y or both? Okay, so for the X, I go to the, so I see where it ends on the left and I see where it ends on the right. And I make my dots between there. And then for the range, I see where it's at the bottom and I see where it's at the top. Yes, sir. For E, yeah, okay, so let's do E. And these three, I have to be honest with you, are the easy ones. B, D, and F are where they get spicy. We haven't even done the spicy ones yet. I know. Okay. So very, very left of this squiggle guy is here. There's not a dot there, but it's still, the curve still goes there. Very, very right of this squiggle guy is here. So my squiggle guy is between what and what? 2 and 4. Okay, my bottom of the squiggle guy here is down here. And the top is up there. So bottom is -3, top is 2. Okay. I need you to set this aside, even though we didn't do the spicy ones and it's gonna bug you. But we can't move on until everybody gets it. So put those aside. We'll come back to it. Just let it go, like frozen. Okay, then get your notebook back out. Now you're gonna have that song stuck in your head all day. You're welcome. Okay, this is the last bit. If you still have your colored pencil, you can keep it out for example too. Alrighty, let's write our definition. The domain is all x's in a table, graph, or equation. The range is all y's in a table, graph, or equation. So domain is x's, range is y. So remember, D and R are alphabetical order, just like X and Y are alphabetical order. Okay, now for example 1, this one is a table. First, let me ask you, is this a function?
No.
It is not a function. If you notice, 0 has 2 different outputs. Okay, however, that's not really what we're answering here. We're answering what the domain is. The domain is all of the x's. So the x's are -1, 0, and 1. I know that 0 is listed twice, but we just list it once when we're stating the domain and range. The range is all of the y's, which is the same thing. -1, 0, and 1. Do you notice how I listed them from least to greatest? Okay. Example 2, is this a function? No, fails the vertical line test, right? Let's throw a vertical line in there to show
I
it.
think it's about 10 feet down there.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, let's do domain. So let's mark this. This is 1, 2, -1, -2, -3, and 1, correct? Did I write those right? Hello? -3 and 1? Okay. So -3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 1. And then the range, I'm going to put on the y-axis. Not right there. Okay, so the bottom of the circle is here. Top of the circle is here. Bottom is -2. Top is 2. All right, I did it. Grab your